Yeah, okay, so we've had a couple of technical difficulties, that's why we started a minute late, but now we're here.
Hi.
Hey, so I'm joined by the incredible Sweetpea, DJ, producer, and a key figure in the drum and bass scene. I'm so excited to have you here.
Thank you.
15 years of Sweetpea.
Yeah, looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to all the questions, all the grilling. Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you for being here. So, should we start at the beginning?
Come on then, let's do it.
Let's do it. So,
Let's do it.
what brought you into drum and bass?
What got me into drum and bass? I came in probably like a bit more of a commercial route. So it was most things that I heard like on the TV, on the radio, a lot of Shy FX. Shy FX Shake Your Body was my absolute jam. Loved that tune so much.
It's actually such a good tune. Yeah, it is a good tune.
It gets dropped every now and then and I'm just like,
Yes.
13-year-old me pricks their ears up. And then around that time as well, sort of Pendulum were coming through with their stuff. It was a bit more of a, DJ hype on Kiss. The drum and bass, as I got a bit older, the drum and bass arena compilations and mixes were quite an important, staple for me as well. And then, when I got to 18, started going raving, once I sort of just actually heard it in a big club and was like, no, this is sick, this is wicked. And then, just sort of got back into DJing through that, really.
So you got into DJing through raving?
No, I started DJing when I was 12, so it was a lot. It was, really early on. Like an old family friend used to have a flat with a basement, and she had a wicked little setup, some Technic. Her name was Little Nat, and she used to DJ garage and things like that. And I was just intrigued, just an intrigued little kid. It's like, what are these? She showed me, I had a go, and then every time we'd go round, I'd have a go on the decks. No idea what I was doing, but kind of picked it up. I remember her boyfriend at the time come in and was like, oh my God, she done a mix. And then I was like, right, I want my own.
No way.
My mum helped me. I had a paper round back then when I was younger, and she was like, if you save up your paper round money for a year, I'll match it, and we'll go and get you some decks. So I saved up £100. She matched it, another £100, and back then you could get, it was 189 quid, which back then was a lot of money, a Newmark decks in a box, and they were the most plasticky, belt drive, just plastic turntables basically. You got the little 2-channel mixer and you got the Newmark headphones. I think it was like the T1550s or the T1600s, depending what model you got. And then I got that. I tried to mix on them years later and I couldn't do it. So it's definitely, it's about what you can do with it, not what fancy equipment you've got, because I couldn't mix on them years later. So and then once I got raving again. Oh, hey me. Once I started raving at 18, got back into it and got decks again. So, and then the rest is history, as they say.
The rest is history. Now we've got a Sweetpea. Were you always called Sweetpea?
Yeah, that was from my mum. Yeah,
really?
yeah. So obviously at the ripe old age of 12, when I was going to be a superstar DJ, I was like, I need a name, man. And my mum was like, don't stress, don't think about it. It will just come to you. And then the next day, we woke up and she was like, Sweetpea is what I've called you since you were a kid. So I've been Sweetpea since I was 12 technically.
I love that.
And it's just stuck. I did think about changing my name, but it's just, I don't know, I've kind of worked so hard to get to where I am now. I'm like, I don't want to start again.
Yeah, what would you even call it?
I have no idea.
There's no name.
I don't know, I'd have to be some cool, techno
DJ, that's when you can change
maybe
the name,
with numbers replacing letters and symbols. Maybe I'll be a symbol.
Yeah, that's good. It's given techno, isn't it?
Yeah, it definitely is.
I felt the only time you can actually change your name is if you become a techno DJ.
Yeah. I don't know what even. Yeah, I've tried to think about it. I'm just like, nah, I don't know.
No, good name.
Thank you. Yeah.
Okay, so why don't we talk about the early days of Sweetpea? Pirate Radio. You had a rush hour show on Rude FM. So in the noughties as well. Yeah. So the rush hour wasn't my show. I just had a regular show. It didn't even have a name. It was just me going up there. But the rush hour was once every couple months. All the artists from the station were invited, and it was like a Friday night, kind of like a pub lock-in. They changed the schedule. You'd turn up on a Friday at 7 or 8. They'd lock the doors, you'd bring some beers, whatever extras you wanted to bring, and then it was just last man standing, really. So I've definitely spent a good 24 hours in there before, but it's just a massive back-to-back. There was one time we did a Facebook Live, and I watched it back,
and we were all just mash up, and I was like, we need to delete that now. No, I'm like, bruv, delete that.
What year was this? Like, what? Do you remember?
What year? So it was between 2011 and 2017. I held a weekly Friday night 6 till 8 show. Yeah, every Friday, kind of drive time show.
Good time, yeah.
Yeah, and it was good. And also, like, a lot of the other DJs were quite flaky. So I was meant to do 6 till 8. I'd usually do 6 till 10. Occasionally, I'd do 6 till 12. And on a random, once in a blue moon, I'd do like 6 till 2.
No, wait, so was this your, like, first radio, like...
Yeah.
Proper gig, basically.
Yeah. And
That's
like
good.
radio came first. It came well before I'd even thought about writing tunes, and before any gigs. It actually helped me get a couple gigs sort of in the early days and stuff.
Yeah.
Just through word of mouth. Obviously, you know, the internet wasn't as big of a crutch as it is now. Obviously, you'd post that you were playing. But it was more word of mouth. Yeah, a lot of my first gigs were just through, people word of mouth basically, and people putting me on and things like that. So.
Do you have like any like pirate radio kind of memories? What was that time?
Yeah, I mean, I owe a lot to Rude FM. Like, yeah, Rude was my school. That's really where I learnt to be a DJ. I learnt about the music, and I just I think, and purely just down to the hours that I used to put up there. You know, 2 hours a week, usually 4, sometimes 6, sometimes 8. Like, just hours upon hours spent in that studio, mixing, practicing, and, you know, just like, I know DJing is obviously a lot easier these days, but just like any kind of hobby or passion project or anything like that, practice makes perfect, do you know what I mean? And you've got to put the hours in to get better, basically.
Was that all on record then? Was that all on vinyl? Or
Yeah.
Was that,
Yeah. So most of it, I did do my transition into CDs, but I really loved mixing vinyl back then, and it took me a long time to move over to digital. It wasn't until I was sort of getting more tunes through like promo. I was mixing vinyl and like CDs for quite a while, and then obviously just then money. You know, I used to spend £100 a month on records, and then when I realised you could then get sort of the same amount of records for, you know, a bit cheaper as a babe trying to just work and survive in London. It definitely did help me back then, and you know, I do still buy records now, but just sort of more, you know, more like listening records and things like that. But yeah, it was all it was such a good time back then, and it just really reminds me of just like early days, just pure love and just absolutely in love with the music. Do you know what I mean? Like, good memories of Rude, and I hope they know how thankful I am for the opportunity.
It's like, it's kind of like Planet Wax to me, really. That sounds like like a little home.
That's it.
With. Did you have any like influences back then, like DJs or like events or like MCs even? I mean, my golden era is 2008 to 2013, maybe 14. I loved, you know, things like Exit Records at that time, the Autonomic era, Shogun at that time, Critical at that time. Ingredients was my favourite label ever. They helped push like Dub Physics and Skeptical back when they first started. And I used to go to, I got the last 2 years of the End, which was cool, and then obviously Cable when everything moved there. But A Bunch of Cuts, there was a night called A Bunch of Cuts, which was kind of like Solar meets 31 Records. So it would be like Doc Scott, Spectra Soul, SP, Marcus Intalex, and it was just, I just loved the deeper sound, like just it was the early days of what we now know as kind of minimal tech rollers, and just that sound was really coming into its own, and just this kind of like solar vibe at that time as well. So I really enjoyed Liquid, you know, I did like a lot of hospitality raves and stuff, but the darkness is where it was at, and A Bunch of Cuts just sums up me, I think, as an artist back then, definitely. Were there any like sets from your early days that you can remember? Because I've got a couple that I can like remember, but do you have any that like you remember that just made you think, this is what I want to do, this is where I want to be? Like,
I don't know, it's a bit of a weird one. I don't think I ever had that like this is what I want to do, because I was just happy to be there, and I was just enjoy. I never thought about doing it as a career, or never thought I'd be in this position now. Like, I was just going out, getting mashed up on the weekend, doing a bit of radio, enjoying it, and that kind of thing. But it probably wasn't until I started working with Hospital in 2018, had my release with Med School, started kind of gigging with them, my money went up a bit, and that was the moment. I also kind of started to come out of like Party P era, and that was the moment when I was like, oh, okay, I need to take this a bit more seriously. So I had that kind of epiphany in 2018. But I mean, yeah, like, favourite set ever probably has to be the Inner Soul 5th birthday party. It was Fire and Lightbox. I was in room 2. Stacked room as Inner Soul does, and then I think I was playing last. Nicky comes up to me, the guy that runs it, and he was like, listen, we've been told to close the room early, can you play 4 till 5? I was like, yeah, cool, no worries. It had been quite a lighter evening. Mr. Joseph was playing, Phil Tangent was playing, I think D-Romatic and DB Audio were playing, so it was a bit more liquidy, and I was like, right, last set, let's just go in, and started with, I think, Alex Pires, the Raven. And then I looked up about 20 minutes later and the room had packed out, you know, from being 3 of my ride or die friends to the whole room packed out. And I was competing with like Mark's System next door. So I just thought, you know, whatever, no one's going to come. And then like half an hour in, I've got people raving up by where like the speakers are. People are up, standing on the sofas and stuff, and it was really one of those moments of just pure, you know, before Record Box and Cue Points, I was double dropping all over the place, just knew my tunes like the back of my hand, having an absolute rollout. Like Vision Obi came into a little cypher the MCs were going at, and it's still nice that set is still talked about to this day. I remember it's like, that's definitely one of my favourites. Stretch, at that time, I didn't know him at that time, but he posted a video of my set on Facebook just saying like, big up Sweetpea, played 2 hours like it was nothing. And for me as a up and coming artist, having someone like him firstly post a video of me and shout out my name, it meant so much, you know. It got to about 10 to 5, Nicky comes up, gives me a beer, and he's like, you alright? And I'm like, yeah. And he's like, do you want to carry on? And I was like, yeah. So I ended up doing a 2 hour set because the room was just absolutely heaving. Like it was that set. If I ever feel a bit sad, I've got the recording of that set, and it's just
so lucky. Especially, I feel like in 2018, not everyone wasn't recording. Now every set is recorded.
Yeah.
Back then, I don't think people were recording.
Sets,
were they?
I do think a lot of like crews jumped onto the recording sets early because there are a lot obviously you can pick up, but yeah, obviously it's the whole video and every angle, do you know what I mean? Now it's a whole movie now rather than just audio recording, do you know what I mean? But yeah, big up to the Inner Soul crew, man. Like they put me on a lot, and they're one of those promoters that I think, you know, we all know about all the big label parties and stuff, but also the promoters. There's a lot of promoters that I think don't get enough credit for what they did for the London scene. People like Essence of Chi is another prime example, and Inner Soul really did something amazing in London around like that time. So yeah, Inner Soul crew are wicked, love them.
When did you start producing? Because so you've not, obviously now we've got loads of Sweetpea tracks out, but back before, you weren't like releasing music. When did you start making music? When were you making? And
so I was always kind of messing around with Logic with an old housemate of mine. We had no idea what we were doing. Like, it was pure messing about, just incoherent noise, really. I released my first track in 2016 with Protocol, and that was just me getting in the studio. I've never watched a tutorial. I've never done a one-to-one. I've kind of just sat in with people and, you know, listened, watched, asked questions. Yeah, I've never done a tutorial or a one-to-one. It's all like, it's just pure what's it called, trial and error, and just collaborating with people. So yeah, in the early days I worked with Reckless quite a bit as well. Taylin was a big help with me, and Sick Note as well. Did a lot of tunes with Lewis. But to be honest, it wasn't until like my debut EP on Spearhead, which was 5 years in, that I was actually kind of happy with my tunes. So yeah, it took a while. I mean, even now, yeah, I still, some of my tunes, I'm like, but yeah, a lot of people don't really know me till like pre Sofa Sound, pre Spearhead. So yeah, I had a couple releases, you know, I listened back to them and I'm just like, you know, they're awful, but I had no idea what I was doing, you know, but doing those also got me to here. So, you know, I don't ever want to discredit them. And actually, if you listen to my tracks in a row, you can hear progression. And that's something that I think is important for an artist. You want to hear yourself getting better, you know? Yeah. Like, you know.
It keeps it real as well.
This part.
It keeps it real.
Yeah.
You don't want to go in and just be perfect. And like,
yeah.
Do you know what I mean? That's not real.
Yeah, and I don't know, for me, it's, like you said, it's you know, being real for me. Like, yeah, you can spot a fake a mile away, you know, you've just, I fancy learning how to make tunes, and then 6 months later you've got a release on some big label that's 1010 Andy C style. It's like, you know what the deal is with that. But then also on the flip side, the audience doesn't really care, so there's that weird like in between. But I just think, you know, for my own, you know, die knowing that I was never ghost produced. You know what I mean? It's a bit of a sticky one, because, you know, obviously all the producers know who all the ghost producers are, who's being ghost produced, but it's just one of those never spoken about things.
I want the tea. I want the tea. We need to talk later.
Yeah, we'll do it later.
Okay. So your earlier tunes.
Yeah.
Who were like what was the sound? Was it all liquidy? Was it what was the kind of sound you were making?
Yeah, I mean, you know, making tunes back then was just pure luck and vibes, to be honest. Like, yeah, I didn't know what I was doing, but I think like, you know, a little bit of my sort of, I've always been a lover of like rolling bass lines and rolling vibes. So yeah, I think I tried to put that across, definitely. Tried to make a kind of minimal techie one. I remember I got the master back and I was like, it's really quiet. And then they sent it back and they were like, yeah, it's because the mix down's really bad.
I've never done this before.
Yeah, I've never done this before, sorry.
I'm new here.
I'm trying. But do you know what? One really nice thing, I remember I wasn't playing. I went to XOYO and Skeptical was there. It's the first time I ever met Skeptical, and he was like, you're Sweetpea, right? And I was like, yeah. And he was like, oh, you got that track, the kind of like W reggae one on Med School. And I was like, oh my god, yeah, I do.
Oh,
like,
that's so big.
Yeah,
that is big.
And I was like, you know what? No, I'm all right. Skeptical Digsy. He probably hasn't played it out, but he remembered me. That's enough.
Do you know what? It actually means a lot when someone that like you looked up to, like comes and they recognise you.
Oh my god,
it makes such a difference.
Yeah, and the fact he had listened to it, because he was like, oh, that dubby halftime reggae one, and I was like, that's it.
That's me,
baby.
Okay, so we're gonna get a 20-minute mix from you, inspired by that kind of period. What were you expecting to hear?
So yeah, I've got probably a bit more of an upbeat, kind of mix for the 20 minutes. I was obviously a big lover of things like Renegade Hardware, Ram Records, you know, I used to go to the end, so it's a bit more of a kind of techie kind of dark one. Yeah, because usually if I do an influences mix, it's all like really nice liquid, and I'm like, no, let me switch it up from that today.
Yeah, that's a bit of me. So.
It's Friday as well, so I was like, oh, come on, let's go. So yeah, it's going to be more kind of like techie quarantine kind of vibes, which were still just reminds me of like Renegade Hardware, basically.
Love. We ready? Let's go.
Need you now. I want you. Need you What else can I say, baby? What else can I say? What else can I say, baby? Oh, baby. What else can I say? What else can I say, baby? What else can I say? What else can I say?
You've been with Gatekeeper.
Breaking down you fools. Breaking down you fools. Fools. Breaking down you fools. Break, 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 break. Breaking down you fools.
We're back. We're back in business, baby. So thank you for that. That was really good.
No worries, thank you.
Honestly, I didn't know what to expect. I love that.
I kind of chucked a whole bunch of tunes in and just sort of, we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
But I definitely wanted to make it a little bit more upbeat because I always go for the like nice liquid stuff and stuff. And I'm like, actually, no, there's a darker side there. So, yeah.
Love you. Thank you for that. Okay, so let's go to more recent Sweetpea.
Okay.
More recent Sweetpea. So 2021
yes.
to 2022, you did the BBC Radio 1 drum and bass show.
Yes.
What was that like?
Crazy.
That is pretty crazy. That's pretty insane.
Do you know what? I think like if anyone is to ever ask me my top, what's your favourite moment ever or the biggest thing you've ever done, I think that you don't really get much bigger than the BBC, and the fact I got to do it twice is mental. And also I worked out I'm from a very, very small pool of people that are the only people to have done pirate radio, community, internet and national radio.
How did you work that out?
Do you know what? I can't even remember how, but it's basically it's me, Flight, Bailey, and like Fabio and Groove Rider.
Crazy. To be fair,
what a pool.
Yeah, I mean, national radio, that is pretty crazy.
Yeah, to be able to present. So it was amazing. So I'm very good friends with Laurie Charlesworth, incredibly talented woman, and she had done it the year before, and she had played one of my tracks. So she had played Undercover, which was my debut solo EP title track, and I was like, oh my god, that's amazing. And she was like, you should do it next year. And I was like, what? Like how they did like a Christmas scout basically. So you kind of upload a demo, they listen to it, and then you basically get picked whoever they want to pick, their sort of favorite one.
Amazing.
And I kind of just did my thing. So they only gave you like 5 minutes. So I had 5 minutes to like do a bit of talking, do a little mix. I tried to introduce, tried to introduce a couple tracks as well, in quite a short time. But ended up getting it. And then they asked me to come back the following year as well.
Was that like, did you send that in, or did you have to do that live with them?
Yeah, no, just sent it in. So just recorded myself. They had like a whole, description about you, upload it. And then it was mental going up there. Like it is like everything is just so smooth, so crisp. The table has a button where it can raise or lower depending on what height you are. The condenser mics are just the condenser mics there are mental. Like you can just hear every frequency of your voice and every like it's like ASMR, isn't it? It's like you could do like ASMR with those mics. It's mad. But best thing ever. Like it was really good, and it also like helped level me up as a radio presenter. Because I had always just been very much a pirate. I'm having a few beers, I'm waffling on and all that kind of thing, and it just helped structure me a little bit with my shows. Because I remember they asked me, they were like, so just send us your script, and I was like, huh? I was like, I don't do a script. I was like, I don't do a script, mate. And
was that for the first show?
I've never used the script in my life, and like you can hear it, and I listen back to it sometimes. You can hear just how sort of robotic I sound because I'm reading from a piece of paper, and obviously I'm really nervous as well. But I can hear in my voice in that first, definitely the first show, just nerves, and I'm reading. Everything when I do radio is very just free flow, catch a vibe, talk about this, do a little bit of this, talk about this. It's not very much like right. And so next we have a song from this person, like So I actually do have the questions on my phone, but it does feel like you're reading a script, and it doesn't feel natural. But this is also what I like with my show now is I'll have questions as a guide, and like you did earlier, we sort of veered over this side and asked that you had a question, and then we were sort of let's ask something about this, and that I think it's important to have a guide of what you want to do. But if you're like, oh okay, we're talking about this, let me ask this question, then I think it's cool to I love veering off. I love a side quest.
We love a side quest.
We love a side quest, especially in radio. Yes, love a side quest in radio.
Drum and bass is a whole side quest.
Yes.
How did we get here?
Honestly.
Did you have any like highlights? What were your highlights? Like maybe like a show or a guest or like a moment there? What was like a...
what, of just radio in general?
No, BBC Radio 1.
I don't know, just doing it, to be honest. Yeah, like it was, you know, they have their specific way of doing things. They have their structure. It was two different and also that was the other thing as well, just like having a producer. Obviously it's nice to have that with Cool now as well, like with the Rinse crew, but having somebody working on your show telling you what you need to talk about and what section we're going to do here and section, do you know what I mean?
They don't do that in Cool, do they?
No.
They just kind of check that everything's good.
Yeah. So there's like different levels to it. So there's like BBC level. You've got, you know, they're writing, they're structuring the show. You are
fun.
just a presenter kind of thing. Not just a presenter. I don't mean that, but you're just presenting, and you follow what they've kind of worked on and what they do. But obviously, with the likes of Cool, they're obviously there just making sure everything is good, run in order, and all that kind of thing. So there's kind of like different levels to it. But just like that will be definitely my career top
highlight.
Like, I'm a radio babe. You don't get much bigger than that. And like the BBC,
the BBC is pretty legendary.
And sorry, but they asked me back twice.
Maybe a third time. Who knows?
No, I don't think they'll ever have me back. To be fair, I did. Do you know what? I'll be completely honest with you. Like, I was gutted that I didn't get the show because not long after I did the second show, Renee LeVice stood down, and I remember sending an email being like, I'd love to do it. And I even said to them at the time, I was like, you've got space to do 2 shows. Like, there's 4 weeks in a month, have 3 weeks of the playlist stuff, the stuff, you know, your Sony, the AEI, the stuff you have to play, and then have 1 show a month that is an actual representation of the underground. Have it as like an underground show. I remember when I played, so both of the shows, you know, I had labels come up to me, labels that in my eyes are massive, come up to me being like, thank you for our first ever BBC Radio 1 play. I'm like, are you mad? Like, how have you never been played on the show? And these are big labels, you know? So, obviously I know the BBC is for it's a commercial entity, it's going out to a commercial audience. But I don't know, my little sort of like rules of radio is you're meant to show people new things that they've never heard before, and
the culture, like tap into the underground a little bit.
We need some help, you know, like we need a bit of help at the moment. So I kind of feel like with there just being so much, you know, the commercial stuff and the noisy stuff is really going into its own entity right now. Like, and historically all of the shows on the BBC drum and bass shows used to just showcase everything, especially shows like Flight Show, do you know what I mean, the Next Chapter, that was still goes down in history as just being a real eye-opener and really pushing underground music, do you know what I mean? And the same with, you know, I feel like it kind of changed with, I think, when Friction stepped in kind of thing, but I don't know, I still, you know, I know they've got the D&B 60 and they have people do the chill drum and bass show, but I'm like, just give me a show.
Bring me back.
Bring me back for once a month, please. Let's just showcase. Hey,
is it in Shepherd's Bush?
No, the BBC it's in central London. So it's at the BBC studios in central. Okay. So it's all, there's a whole you gotta like, it's like going through it's like an airport. It's like airport security there.
It's
mental.
My dad used to work at the BBC, so I remember like you have to sign in and
get your little card, go through the scanner.
But back then it was like in Shepherd's Bush, and to get upstairs you'd like go through the news, and like you see like there was like a glass lift.
They still got all that. They've got all that. It's mental. You go through, you see like the BBC News bit, and then at the top it's all the radio stations and stuff. So that was incredible. I do that I'm still so proud of myself for that. And having been someone that just came from pirate radio, where, you know, there was like duct tape on the mixer and the bloody things peeling off and the decks don't work properly, to being on the BBC is like, it's
that's
nuts.
pretty massive.
Honestly. Big, biggest thing I've ever done. So
I mean, another big thing that you've done is EQ50 as well.
Yes.
You play a massive role in EQ50.
EQ50 was a lot of fun.
Like for people that don't know what EQ50 is, it's like one of the first mentorship programs of its kind. So you guys were like, it was basically dedicated to representing female and non-binary people. How did that come about?
So that was. So Red Bull did a normal, not novelty link up, and they did a bunch of different genres. And for the drum and bass one, they had a Q&A with Flight and Storm. They had Kairos doing a production session, and Jin and Mantra doing engineering. And it was female only kind of thing. And then Flight and Mantra basically just bumped heads at the end and were like, we need this for drum and bass, and that's kind of how EQ50 was formed. It started out just being like a networking event, so just a place to come. MC Deadman came with a very, very little Willow back then. It was open to everybody, and it was just going to be like a networking get together. Like your networking days are now. There's a panel, open decks, little Q&A, that kind of thing. And then realised that it just needed to be something bigger, and it needed that mentoring. So we started our year-long mentorship. Worked with over the 3 that we've done, we've worked with some really, really cool labels and seen some really, really talented people come through. So obviously Nia Archives probably being one of our most successful mentees, but each and every and Mandy Dextrous as well. But each and every one of them, whether they've gone on to release music or not, they've all still. It was a confidence thing mostly, So it was about confidence building and stuff. So it was good. It was good.
It was definitely important for like the community. It's important for. It's nice to see that there was a whole movement happening for women, and the fact that it was like just like all women basically running it. I think was good. It's good. It's that was a special time in drum and bass.
I think it was
100% a special time in drum and bass, because it kind of gave us visibility as well. It was really important. Do you feel like you would have benefited in your early days?
Oh god, yeah. That, do you know what? That's why I went so hard for EQ50, because I like. When I was coming through it, there was nothing like that. It's there was never any panels or there was the odd kind of like panel here and there, but you can go to a networking day. People set up networking days. Come and learn how to DJ. Want to get into radio? Come and learn how to get into radio. There was nothing like that. And like more than anything, just the kind of what's been nice since we started is the kind of sisterhood that all the women in the scene have now. It's like I see you and I want you to do well. Do you know what I mean? Whereas they, I don't think, from my experiences, there wasn't really much of that sort of camaraderie.
There were women in drum and bass, definitely. There's always like been women in drum and bass.
Yeah.
But there wasn't a lot of like representation, and they weren't given a lot of like a spotlight. You know what I mean? Like
and we weren't linking up together. I think that's the thing. Like it's nice to see people working together, and that I see you kind of thing. Like there wasn't that before. But I definitely would have benefited. Like I didn't have a clue what I was doing back then. I was just having a good time, and I get to play here. I was just happy to be there. But I think more than anything, just having that kind of sisterhood and having another woman older than me. Mantra was the first person to give me a bit of advice, a bit of business advice about the scene and what I was doing and things like that. So just having another woman to confide in that's older than you, that has the experience, and also just another woman giving their opinion for you. Do you know what I mean? Like I talk to so many people now, like people take my advice, people don't. I always try and stay neutral. Like here's my opinion, here's my neutral opinion, take it, use it. A lot of people don't listen because you just need to go and make your own mistakes or whatever, but it's you still have to be there to do that. Do you know what I mean? So, and it's nice. It's nice to be confided in. I talk to a lot of people about a lot of different things, and that makes me feel nice that people trust me enough. Or I always hear, I wanted to come and ask you first because, do you know what I mean? Like it's nice that I guess maybe it's that kind of reputation, but it's nice that people are able to confide in me about issues that are sensitive, whether it's something dodgy happened to them, they're not happy with their agent, you know, whatever it is. My inbox is full of just random stuff, and it's nice that people feel like they can talk to me about that as well. So yeah.
Do you feel like what were challenges that you had like coming into the scene that you feel like if you had an Equi 15 mentorship you just like not had?
Yeah. Do you know what? I'm very, very lucky that my journey in, I was surrounded by some very incredible guys and people that were, you know, uplifting me and putting me on. I think my only issue was probably just the business side, money and things like that. There were plenty of gigs that I didn't get paid for, that I probably should have, or people pulling a fast one. I think that's what challenges did you face? People trying to pull a fast one, you know, getting paid. I remember I did like a 2-hour set once and I only got paid like, obviously you're not meant to get 2 hours worth of money, but you're supposed to get a little bump up from an hour's worth of money, and I just got paid for an hour basically. But that's just somebody knowing that I'm not going to say no, do you know what I mean? So I think the money thing, you know, no one likes talking about money. I do think a lot of people have a warped idea of, I wish fees, how much people get paid was a little bit more transparent, so people can realise how much they should be getting, but also how much they should be getting, because I think a lot of people now expect to be earning 500, 600, 700 quid when they're still like a 200, 300 pound DJ, do you know what I mean? Or, you know, that kind of thing. So, or you've had a couple of good gigs where you've been paid like 500 quid and now you think it doesn't quite work like that. You need to, and people are outpricing themselves out of gigs. So you have to be like, we all deserve to get paid, but also you've got to be a little bit flexible. Obviously, you know your worth and this is the least, but also like, yeah, there are people I know that have not been around for very long that are charging like almost more than double what I get, and that's wild to me.
Do you think that's just because like they're trending? Not
even really trending. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I rate it. Go get that shimani, girl. You know what I mean? Go get that shimani, girl. But yeah, I think, you know, you've got to then understand that, you know, there's a kind of fluctuating line of, you know, I do gigs for a lot less than I do get. I also get paid quite well for some gigs, but it's like it all fluctuates, you know. I'm not just getting paid this, so yeah.
Yeah, fair. Okay, so past 2 years we've had a strong focus on Sweetpea Releases.
Yes, we have.
So we've been blessed with some D&B collabs, we've had some Safer Sound releases, and we've had your first ever jungle release.
Yes.
Yes. Hardcore Energy, AKO, and Dispatch.
Yeah, it's been good.
Yeah.
Yeah, last year was mad. This year I've got another release coming out end of the year, but I've only had I think 3 or 4 releases this year. But last year was 9, and they all came.
Crazy.
9. They all came in the space of about 3 or 4 months as well. I tried to space them out as best as I could, but yeah, it didn't work. But yeah, it was mad. I don't know, everything, like I don't ever set New Year's resolutions, but I do also kind of just get my arse in gear at the beginning in January kind of thing, beginning of the year. And at the beginning of 24, I was like, you know, I'm giving all these people this advice. Yeah, put yourself out there. What have you got to lose? And I wasn't doing that for myself. So I was just like, you know what? Let me just put myself out there. It's quite what's the word? It's like you're exposing yourself when you send tunes to a label. It's quite a thing. I still now. I sent some tunes to somebody the other day, and I was like, we were chatting, and I was like, I really want to send you some tunes, but I'm scared. And he was like,
you're vulnerable. It's your art. You're giving someone access to like judge your art.
Yeah. And like I judge my art myself when I listen to all the other stuff that comes out on the label, but I'm like, I think it'd be good. But yeah, he was like, we don't buy it, and I'm like, yeah, but my pride and ego is at stake. So yeah, so we'll see. But yeah, so beginning of 24, I was just like, you know what? what, let me just put myself out there. And I was like, yo, hit up a couple people, and just got a really good response back. So
were these all songs that you were sitting on, or like did you just make them specifically at that time for?
Yeah, so a lot of the stuff that came out I'd been sitting on for a little while. Yeah, because it's always like whenever tunes come out, you got to remember it's anything from like 6 months to a year behind, like with certain labels. So like there are certain labels out there that they have their release schedule for a year. So there are other labels that have release schedules for 3 years. There are other labels that are like they'll sign something from you today and it'll be out before the end of the year, that if they can slot it in or but you're usually working about 6 months. So yeah, like my my Sofa Sound EP that came out. So I'd sent that to him the year before, so it took a year to come out. That one did. Okay. The Crystal Clear one with the Crystal Clear Richness Is Life, that came out I think about 6 months, but the EP then took another 6 months. So yeah, it can be a bit frustrating because you get to a point obviously where you improve as a producer, and then I'm like, but I don't like these tunes anymore, but they're coming out, and you just have to kind of suck it up and sit with it a little bit.
I'm glad that they're out. Like Richness Is Life.
Yeah,
like,
love that one.
Twister. That one's my favourite song for sure. That one did really well, sort of festival season that year, which was nice. So and like Andy Crystal Clear he's amazing. He's such a good guy. Like he's really cool to work with, and he's doing so well at the moment. And yeah, he deserves everything that's coming to him because he's wicked. I also love the Hardcore Energy release as well.
Yeah,
we loved it. Like the bit of hardcore. Like that was just good.
Yeah,
that was good. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you know what that one?
Nostalgia, like.
Yeah, that one got got a really good reception. The '90s Baby track.
Yeah.
So it's quite funny because that was originally meant to be a jungle track, and it just wasn't quite sitting. It just wasn't quite fit. Just something wasn't quite right with it. And then I put the 4/4, like the 4/4 beat in there basically, and then I was like, there it is. Like, So that one, and that one did really well. Like a lot of people were like bigging that up. Sherelle still to this day plays that one, which is mental.
Yeah. No, I still play it as well.
Yeah,
it's so good. It's a good song.
Good.
Yeah.
I need to make some more hardcore. It's a bit of a weird one when I'm producing. Like I went so many years just being like, right, I'm gonna make this kind of tune, and then making the complete opposite, or being like, I'm gonna make a really nice tune like Caliber, and then coming out with something Rupture ready. Do you know what I mean? Like, so I just kind of stopped doing that, and I was like, let me just see what comes out, and it goes in ebbs and flows. But when I was making all that stuff, I couldn't make a roller for the life of me. I wasn't making any drum and bass. It just wasn't coming out. It was purely steppers and jungle. And then once that bit passed, it switched over, and I was making more drum and bass and things like that. So I kind of just like, as much as I want to be releasing loads of this right now, if my body's not doing it and my soul isn't bringing it out, then I wait until it comes, kind of thing.
Sometimes creatively, like the best plan is no plan.
That's it. That's it.
You just got to just do it.
Yeah.
You just make magic.
And that's what I do with producing. Like I always have what I call a vibe starter, and that can be like a little sound, a vocal, a whoosh, a pad, a break that you like the sound of, and that is what starts the track. And then whether it stays there or not once the track's built is, it might stay there, it might be the mainstay, it might come out because it's done its job. But yeah, I always start with a little vibe starter, and then just whatever comes basically. I don't try not to think about it too much. I do kind of think, there's a blueprint and there's a template when you make tracks. You need an intro, you need a drop, you need a this, you need a that. But I kind of just see what happens. I think when you're tapping into creativity, you just gotta let it flow naturally. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, and I find it enjoyable like that as well, because I'm like, what am I gonna make today?
Yeah. I'm excited.
A stinker.
Yeah. So we're gonna get another little mix from you, aren't we? So you're gonna play all Sweetpea.
All Sweetpea mix, yeah.
Is there gonna be some unreleased stuff in there?
Oh yeah. So I'm gonna do a Sweetpea, all Sweetpea mix. It's gonna be mostly like newer stuff that's come out.
Nice.
Some newer stuff, some forthcoming stuff. Yeah. New bits.
Yeah.
New bits.
Are you ready?
but they can't. Now my son, take it up nice and easy.
woken, system broken. What else to do, here's hoping, stop talking. Then again, look how we got the world smoking. More fire stoking. We've spoken. Are you awoken, system broken? What else to do, here's hoping, stop talking. Then again, look how we got the world smoking. More fire stoking. Deja vu, the light, blinking off the flight. All sight must be near, now we're here. Need to persevere beneath a thin veneer. Hold it all in, we let nothing else appear. Clear an altitude from London. Mind in the dungeon, still we function with the best. The press is heartless after all. Contest ain't new at all. The quest full of stress, mental and physical. 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 Everything ain't agreed to the future set speed. It's our time to lead. Everything ain't agreed to the future set speed. It's our time to lead.
Ready to go, level up possessions. I really, yeah, I don't wanna listen. Try to
Ride the wave. Ride the wave. Ride the wave. Psychedelic.
Thank you so much for that.
Working up a sweat, mate.
No, honestly, I'm so ready for the weekend now.
I was like, right, it's Friday. Come on, we're gonna have a party.
Yeah, no, that was definitely the crease. That's the crease for tonight. Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah, tell us about these tunes. So everything you played was a Sweetpea tune.
Yes, it was.
Good stuff.
I tried to do like a proper like multi-mix, mini-mix kind of vibe. Yeah, I don't think I've ever mixed so fast. But yeah, like most of the tunes, so a lot of it's forthcoming or still a dub. Yeah, so there's a couple. The track. Well, I mean, this track here, so this is Closer. This is the track that came out on Med School. This was my first ever solo release. This is the one that Skeptical was like, oh, you made that dub reggae type one. So yeah, this is Closer. my first ever solo release that came out on Med School, which is obviously a sister label of Hospital Records back in the day. R.I.P. Med School. Big up Dexter, you know. So a lot of those tracks, there was a couple of bits from my Sofa Sound EP that came out last year. I've got a EP coming out on 31 Records, which is coming out in November, which is, I'm quite excited for that actually, because it's probably the first EP that I've released that will be sort of all four corners of P, rather than, you know, if I release something on Sofa Sound, you know what kind of vibes it's going to be. It's going to be Sofa Sound, it's going to be rolling, but this EP has got a little bit of everything. It's got a jungly tune, it's got a little stepper, it's got like a kind of, you know, a rolling tune and stuff like that. So yeah, quite looking forward to that. And also it's the 31st year of 31 Records, and I get to release with them, so I'm pretty gassed for that.
How many tunes are released?
4. Yeah, so I've got 4. So I think the title track's going to be called Sniper. That's like a kind of rolling jungly track that got played at a Rupture a little while back. There was a track Fidget in there, which I played. Track Rumble, which I played in there, and there's also another track called Wasted, which is like, it's my ode to Crystal Clear basically. It's like a kind of crystal cleary wobbly track. And then 10 Minutes was in there, which is the third or fourth? Maybe third collab that I've done with Crystal Clear. That will be coming out on V again. And yeah, that one seems to be doing the rounds this year. Quite a few people are playing that, which is really nice. It's been to Glastonbury, it's been to Boomtown, it's been to Sun and Bass, it's been bloody everywhere. Yeah. So that was quite nice. What else did I play? Oh, there was also, so one of the last tracks, Loving Is Good, is going to be an 8K free download when I get to 8K on Instagram. So yeah, that one's going to be a free download. I think I've got like 84 more people to go. So yeah, it's
damn.
slowly getting there. I wanted to do it as a 10k release, and then realised actually 10k is probably quite a way away.
So a long time to wait for that.
Yeah. So I was like, let me just do 8 and we'll do another one for 10. So that's an 8k release. It'll be on SoundCloud, and I'll also put it on Bandcamp just in case anyone wants to buy it. Obviously go get the free one, but if people want to support all that jazz, I'll put it up on Bandcamp as well. So yeah, that's ready to go, just waiting for the numbers.
What was the one with Catherine? What was that one called?
So that one's called Serve. That's Catherine, and Fox is on that as well. That's gonna be, so that's the title track. I've got a Flex Out EP coming, which will be coming beginning of next year. How many tracks are done? So 2 of the tracks are done. 1 of the tracks has been sent to the person who I'm going to be collabing with, which if they say yes, is going to be a massive look. And then I'm also just waiting for another vocalist to finish track 4. So yeah, I played also there was a Minor Forms track in there as well, which is going to be track 2. So yeah, it's a track with Catherine. That tune, when that tune came together really well. I remember I was in my old job at that time, and I remember she messaged me at like 10 in the morning and was like, I've done this tune, it's effing sick, send it over to me. And I remember just being like, that's it. And like, for her as well, it kind of showcases a different kind of side of her as a vocalist, because she's got such a great voice, but it's also something different for her. And then we were definitely both interested in getting Fox on it as well, and he thankfully said yes. So yeah, I really like that one. I think
a good voice.
She's wicked, and she makes the tune so much. So I think that's going to be quite a good one. Hopefully vinyl, we'll see. But it'll be good to work with the Flex Out crew, because I used to do a lot of stuff with them back in the day, and it's kind of come around full circle a little bit. So yeah.
Do we have any non-drum and bass, non-jungle?
We do.
Do we actually?
We do.
Oh my god. Exciting.
We do, yes.
What do we have?
So I've been sitting on like a soulful lo-fi hip-hop EP for 2 or 3 years, and I've been trying to find somewhere, a home for it. And because I'm not in that scene, I don't know who the labels are, but a lot of people are like, just put it up on Bandcamp, and I was thinking about that, but I'm also working with vocalists on it, so I'm like, I'd really like to, if I can, get some money out of it to pay them, and I tried to get funding for it, but funding applications are so hard to write. I just applied for a few, wasn't working. I was like, right, whatever. But I've got a track with Shady Novell and MC Sass. And I've also got another track which I think the vocalist that I did have on it doesn't want to do it anymore because she's going somewhere different musically, which is fine. But I might get Catherine to potentially come in and do that track as well. So yeah, it's going to be... there's a new label that's just started called like Mellow Melodies or something. They've just popped up, and it's Creatures that runs it, and he's got loads of lo-fi stuff that he just wants a home for, so he started his own thing. So hopefully Wheels in Motion. I said to him, like, just he's only just started it, so I was like, just get a few releases out, give me a shout, and I'll get them finished, and then hopefully that'll be next year as well.
Nice.
Finally got a home for them. I love those tunes, and I'm just like, they're listening tunes. Do you know what I mean?
When did you make them?
Just made them at home. I just had a bit of a break for, like, I love listening to that kind of music. That's, if you go on my Spotify and all the rest of it, that is what I listen to all day long. I love UK soul, I love UK jazz, I love lo-fi hip hop, all them kind of chilled vibes, all that baby making music. I love all that kind of stuff, and I just needed a bit of a break from drum bass. So and those just came together. Like, I've tried to make house, tried to make like dubstep. I do just have a go every now and then and that kind of thing, but those just really stuck.
A lot of drum and bass producers tell me like they don't listen to drum and bass at home. Yeah, I love drum and bass. I listen to drum and bass all the time.
No, I love that. Do you know what? But that makes you a hardcore. I think we all go through that moment. There was a time where I was like, I don't listen to anything else but drum and bass. I woke up.
No, I listen to so much stuff. Don't
get
me wrong. I listen to everything. But like, to get me out of bed in the morning, I've got to put a drum and bass on.
Definitely. I think that, like, having that hardcore attitude is also what sets drum and bass fans a cut above the rest as well. We all have that moment, then you discover something, you know, where you live and breathe it. You wake up, you go to bed, it's all drum and bass and jungle, and that's it. And then you find other stuff. And for me it was ambient dubstep. So like, I don't know what you want to call it. Yeah, ambient dubstep. So there was a SoundCloud crew called Deep Heads, and they used to post a lot of stuff by like Geode, by Biome, who else used to, loads of people. Yeah, there was, and they had it, and that was I fell in love with that stuff. It was the perfect, like, just got home from a rave, driving back, put a bit of that on, come down music, wake up, do you know what I mean? Have a spliff when you get home. Don't condone drug taking. You know, get home from the rave, just the chill down from the rave, put a bit of that on, really cool. And then from there I got into like UK soul and UK hip hop and things like that, and then it's just kind of gone from there. And now I'm a jazz girl. I love a bit of jazz.
Do you know what? I do like jazz, but I can't do jazz like out.
No. Okay.
I can't do jazz out. I can't do jazz night out. Get a bit bored, to be honest. Yeah. But I do love jazz at home. Yeah. Do you know what I
Making
mean?
some food. Yeah.
I feel that's
Rate that.
Good, yeah. You see like all like the old old pictures and paintings, so people are like proper breaking down to like jazz. I'm like, what jazz are you listening to? I want to find that jazz. What jazz is that?
It's out there somewhere. They're just getting down to the rhythm and the, you know, the no rule. I think like a lot of genres can learn from jazz, because it was just like, it was all about breaking rules, wasn't it? It was all about playing those offbeat keys and stuff that's not in key and all that kind of stuff. Like, I've got a lot of time for jazz. Yeah.
I feel like jungle was a bit like that. I mean, it kind of is. I mean, like, back in the day, jungle just kind of had no rules to it. Like, it was just a bit crazy. Now I feel like there's a lot of rules. There's a lot of jungle snobs now.
Yeah.
I think that's one thing that I've realised recently, the past like 3-4 years. There's a lot of like, I don't know, there's a lot of do's and don'ts, and can we just enjoy it?
Yeah.
How do you feel about that? Because I'm just like, can we just have a good time? We're here for the music.
Yeah, I think, I don't know, I think that's sort of just a progression of a lot of things, but I kind of see that in production as well. I think where everyone's become like uber technical, like people back in the day weren't worried about stuff being in key, or like, oh, this frequency needs to be, you know, there are certain kind of boundaries, yes, you need to stick within when it comes to producing, but people didn't know what they were doing back then. And I think where everyone's become so over fixated on, oh, this needs to be dipped here and you can't peak this and it's kind of, it makes it sound a certain way, and it's kind of just caging itself rather than just being like no rules. And that, for me, like, that's why I'm kind of glad that I have no like musical theory knowledge or anything like that. Like, again, yes, there's boundaries. I don't know what I'm doing, but does it sound good? Do I like it? Yes, then keep it in. Like, you know, these guys were just twiddling knobs, and does it sound good? Yeah. Does it sound good? No, take it out. Like, it wasn't, you know, there wasn't this, oh wait, sorry, no, that's a different key. Does it sound good? Yes, then keep it in, you know. We've become very, I think we've caged ourselves in our own rules a little bit. And I think that's what sort of led to it, which has then just led to a lot of the chin strokiness, I think.
There's a lot of do's and don'ts. So 15 years in the game, almost 15 years in the game.
I have a teenage baby in drum and bass. Okay,
I thought you meant a real baby. I was like, what are you doing this baby? We got another baby Sweetpea.
God, can you imagine?
15 years in the game. You've been here
mad.
for a while.
Tell me about it.
How's it been? It's a journey.
It's been, do you know what, like I never ever saw myself doing anything. I never, you know, I'm so thankful for everything I've done. Like, I never thought I'd ever get to play at Fabric. I never thought I'd ever get to travel. There's countries that I've been to that I never thought I'd ever see in my whole life that I've managed to go to because of the music, you know. So so extremely thankful. But I was just a raver, man.
That's the best way to,
do you know what I mean? Like, I was just out every weekend, having a drink, getting mashed up, dancing my arse off, hanging off the DJ booth, chatting crap to people. Do you know what I mean? Like, I never there was no end goal. Like, obviously, as I've got older, now I'm a bit more like, oh, okay, no, let's kind of do something with this. But like, yeah, it's never really been, there was no goal. I was just here doing my little 2-hour show on a Friday with a couple beers at radio, and yeah, it was just doing it. I don't know, there was no thought to it. That's, yeah.
Do you have any advice, like, for the younger generation, or like the new well, not younger, but like, do you know what I mean?
People coming into it.
Yeah, people coming in, because there's no age.
Yeah. I think, like, just keep going. Like, you know, you're probably gonna there's gonna be a lot of like, you need a bit of a thick skin for this, I think. Definitely. Not as in people being horrible, but just like rejection. Like, if you're sending tunes, people don't respond, or people just saying no, it's not a good fit. Like, just because it's not a good fit for a certain label doesn't mean it's not a good fit for another label. But my biggest piece of advice to any new person, new crew coming in: start a crew. Start your own crew. That's genuinely, like, it used to be all about the DJ, then it became all about the producer, then it became all about the label, and now it's all about the crew. God knows what it's going to be the next, or the next one round. But yeah, like, being a part of a crew, you know, it can be quite isolating. It can be quite lonely, like when you're doing it all by yourself. So it's important to have people that, like, you know, you can bounce off of, you can go to, that check up on you, all this kind of thing. Because yeah, it can be quite a lonely place to be as well.
Yeah, definitely. You definitely need to have your community. I mean, like, when you go from being a raver to actually being in the music.
Oh, yes.
It's different.
Massive culture shock.
It's so different.
Yes.
Like, there was a while where I didn't feel like I could rave. You feel a bit weird raving because you're like, oh, I don't want anyone to see me. I want to have a good time, but I don't want to have too much of a good time. But then you kind of have to disconnect from that, I think. And
also, if you see it as a job, then you need to act like it as well. Like, Raver Me was Raver Me. Everyone knew I just used to get mash up and all, and that was the reputation I had back then. But then you just need to, like, if you're gonna try and be serious about it, then you need to be serious. You know, you wouldn't turn up to work mash up. You know, it's hard because it goes hand in hand with what we do. But you know, if you're unable to do your job, i.e. mixing a set because you're too mash, you're too kitted up, or you know, whatever, then that's a problem, and you get that reputation of being too mash up, you know. But yeah, my thing coming on the other side of the decks, like, you fall in love with this music and you're like, this is so cool on the dance floor, and then you come on the out, like, I feel like ignorance is bliss a little bit, because the more I learn about the scene, the more it sort of just picks at you. You know, you start seeing people take the piss out of people, like, you know, you learn who the abusers are, you learn who don't pay people, or like crap with money, or like, you're horrible to this person, or you're a racist. Like, those little things pick away at the sort of love that you fall in. So you've got to have a bit of a hard skin to leave them over there, get on with your stuff.
They say don't meet your heroes, for real.
Don't meet your heroes, and ignorance is bliss. Don't come over this side, honestly. You'll save yourself a lot of headache. But no, but again, that's why having a good circle, having a circle you can trust, really, really important. And I'd say that to anybody. Yeah, just find yourself a crew, start your own crew, and and it's going to take a while. I'm 15 years in. It's not going to happen overnight. Probably isn't going to happen for 99% of us. It's not going to happen for at least 5-10 years. You know, you're not going to release an EP and then be headlining Boomtown. It doesn't work like that. And I think a lot of people are jaded in their thoughts of, don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. We all want to be there, you know, but you're going to have to work for it. That 1% are going to slip through and make it after a year. The rest of us, we're going to be here for decades, unfortunately. And that's just the way it goes. Like, you know, some people make it. Some people will just be around for years and never quite make it. Some people will never make it but be around forever. It's just the hierarchy.
People deserve that spot. Do you know what I mean? Like, so you just got to wait your turn. Really.
Yeah, exactly.
Wait your turn, do the work, enjoy it, have fun.
Yeah,
right?
And I think that's the biggest thing as well. Just enjoy it.
Enjoy it.
Yeah.
It is work, but it's also, we're choosing this work because we love it.
Yeah, and if it's fun, it's not work because you're just having fun with it. You know what I mean? Yeah.
What's been your proudest moment this year?
Proudest moment this year. Probably getting the 31 Records release. Yeah, Doc Scott. So Doc Scott's been a massive supporter of my music. I remember when I released my debut EP and he tweeted me and was like, I've been playing Kirby's Dreamland, and I was just like, oh my god, because I absolutely love him. Like 31 was such a important label for my formative years. The quantity not quality EPs, just amazing. And it's such a sick label, and he's just amazing as well. And then he's on my mailer, and he replied back he always says thank you, and replied back to me and was just like, hey, I wouldn't be a good label head if I didn't ask you, would you like to release on 31? I was like, let me check my schedule, babes. I said to him, I was like, do you know what? I've wanted to send you tunes, but I've been so scared. I was like, so thank you for asking me personally. I'd absolutely love to. And yeah, he's taken a full EP, some you heard earlier, and yeah, I'm really excited for that because yeah, we're going to be playing. I'm doing a 31 Records night in Manchester at the end of October, which I'm quite looking forward to. And hopefully, do some more stuff with them. That's probably I think that's the proudest thing I've done this year.
That's pretty big.
Yeah,
that is pretty big.
31's massive.
Yeah, that's pretty big.
Yeah, I'm happy with that.
And you've got like so many insane releases and so many forthcoming releases coming up. Like you're doing bits, mate.
Yeah, I think just like a couple things to tie you over for the year. Obviously, I don't think I'll ever have anything like the 9 releases last year again. Maybe I will. I don't know. Everything just kind of came together. But I think if you can just have like a couple releases or something going on every quarter, I feel like that's kind of enough visibility to, and I think that's partially down to why I'm still here 15 years later. I've never been a massive artist, but I've always just been about, you've always kind of just seen my face, and it's just all about visibility. I might not have had loads of releases going on, but just always been about.
With integrity.
With integrity.
Thank
you, girl.
We quote you.
Thank you, baby.
That's something you said to me like a couple of months back.
Did I?
Yeah.
Do everything with integrity.
Yeah. Do everything with integrity.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got about 5 minutes left.
Nice.
Do you have anything you want to add? Because I've got some fun little questions.
Oh, let's go for the fun questions.
You don't have to answer all of them.
Okay. Am I allowed to pass if they're...
you can pass.
Okay.
But it'll be fun if you answer them.
Okay, go on then. Go on then. I'm in.
I'll start soft. Okay. So, dream back to back.
Dream back to back. Ooh.
One that you've not played.
One that I've never played before. Do you know what? Okay, so I'd love... Dream back to back, obviously Randall, but I have never gone back to back with Kyrist. And me and her came up around the same time. We got the same influences, all that kind of thing. I reckon the set would boot off.
Yeah.
I don't know why no one's thought to put us back to back together ever.
Someone needs to make it happen.
Someone needs to make that happen. Please, can someone make that happen? With GQ on the mic as well. GQ, I'd love to GQ to host a set. Oh my god.
Yeah, what a voice.
Love Gary. He's such a G, man.
Is that saying Gary?
Yeah.
Okay. Worst set you've ever played?
Worst set I've ever played? Oh god. Oh, do you know what? I got booked for a gig up north a few years ago now, and obviously when you travel around you kind of figure out what kind of local areas like what, and most of the time the crew up north love a bit of jump up, or the more kind of like donkey kind of beats, and I didn't quite click that at that time, so I just played a me set, and it was this big club, cleared the fucking dance floor. Yeah, absolutely cleared the dance floor. Wouldn't say it was the worst set, but just those moments when you clear the dance floor, it's the worst feeling inside. But I do also think you need to have those moments, to all about experience, but yeah, I think that clearing any dance floor is a bit of a soul destroyer a little bit.
Yeah, it happens though. That's the reality of being a DJ.
There you go.
Everyone's got to go through
you got to work it.
Yeah.
How'd you get them back? I love that challenge. I'm like, right, how am I going to get you back? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. It's like, I think that's the reality of being a DJ. You actually have to like watch what people like. I played like a birthday the other week, some birthday party. I don't know them. It's a really good crew, but at the beginning they were like, we want jungle. They put me to play jungle.
Okay.
and I quickly realised they wanted drum and bass.
Oh, did they want ragga jungle?
Because I got a lot of drum and bass. So I was just like testing the crowd, and then like realised that they just all wanted drum and bass. They just love the heavy stuff. So
Yeah.
You gotta know how to.
Yeah, and you gotta be ready. You gotta be ready for the curveballs and like what you're gonna do to bat it back. You know.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay. Next question. Favorite rave.
Favorite rave, whatever or like now? Currently. Oh, it's got to be Rupture, innit?
Yeah.
Easy.
Good one.
Easy.
Yeah.
Enough said. Yeah.
Okay, Rupture.
You know, innit? Easy one. Yeah.
Favorite MC.
Favorite MC. Ooh, favorite MC.
You gotta pick one.
Yeah, I love a bit of GQ. You know, like I think GQ GQ. Yeah, just any style, any vibe. I love. And also SP, I'm a big fan of SP. SP needs to be on some more jungle. He did a Rupture. He did the Rupture. Was it the bass bin takeover that they did at Fold? And it was really nice to hear SPMC on some jungle, because I know he's a jungle guy and loves all that stuff. Obviously, I know he works with who he works with and stuff, but yeah, I know he loves the opportunity to do more like jungle stuff. So, and the same with GQ as well on jungle is really nice to see, because I know they're both like roller kind of guys. Yeah, big up the MC crew.
Okay, you don't have to answer this one.
Okay.
And you don't have to say any names, but like bad. What's like a bad? Have you had any bad MC experiences?
Any bad MCs? Oh yeah, I've had, obviously not naming names, but I've had MCs that have been quite drunk and get a bit shouty, or sort of don't. There's a thing with MCing where you need to know where you are in the track. You need to know me, how I mix, when the breakdowns come in, and all that kind of stuff. And I've definitely had MCs that have been like a bit too drunk and they just get quite shouty.
I don't like the shouting.
Also
sometimes
shouty.
The good, but
yeah, we love a little shout, but like when it's like shouty in small clubs, not the one. I've had like female MCs or vocalists that have been quite drunk and absolutely cartwheeled their songs and things like that, or it's just been a bit of a shouting fest. So happens to the best of us. Listen, I don't claim to be Mother Teresa, but I think it's a bit harder when you're a bit more exposed like you are with a microphone.
You've got to, it's a bit hard to navigate when you're DJing when that sort of stuff happens, because you're just like and you have to like
just all you need to do is do a groove rider. Apparently, if you didn't like the MC back in the day, he just turned the mic off.
I've actually
pulled the plug out.
I've done that to a guy here before. Yeah,
Sometimes you got to do it. You just got to turn it down. Just be like, nah, bruv. Yeah.
See you later.
Yes.
Favorite festival.
Favorite festival? What, to go to or to play?
Both.
So to go to, I love going to We Out Here. We Out Here is a very, very good festival. There's a little bit of drum and bass and jungle, but it's mostly live music, jazz, all that kind of stuff. Really love that festival. And then, probably best festival to play at. Maybe like Boomtown. Yeah, like Boomtown's always quite a good vibe, because it's it's all that crew. Everyone's just looking to party and absolutely have it. So yeah, probably Boomtown's quite a good festival. Still got a few festivals that are on my tick list to play, but I reckon.
What's one of them?
Glastonbury. I haven't done Glastonbury.
Really?
I haven't done Sun and Bass. I haven't done Let It Roll.
We need to get Sweetpea Glastonbury.
Yeah, I need to do some bits, mate.
Oh, it's time.
Oh, lovely.
Oh, it's been
that was so good. Thank you, babe.
Honestly, so fun.
That was amazing. Yeah. Thank you so much for asking. Yeah, obviously I've done radio for a long time, so it's nice to be answering questions rather than giving them.
No.
So,
I mean, it's my first time doing this kind of show, so
I hope it was good.
Yeah, it was really good. I really had a good time. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you very much.
So next up, do we have Uncle G and Dexter? Just Uncle G. Yeah, just Uncle G. We've got. Thank you guys. Thank you for locking in. You've been listening to Planet Sally Show with Sweetpea. Congratulations on 15 years of Sweetpea.